Good morning, everybody. So for those of you watching after the fact, or not during the live stream, you can go ahead and forward to when the music stops. Usually that's when I start talking. So keep that in mind. Good morning to those of you that are just showing up. Not sure if it's evening for you or not. We'll be starting in about 30 seconds. Okay. Well, so it's been a while since I've been online, I guess, or had my stream. I missed Friday's stream because I was out of town. I was in New York City doing some editing for an album. So today we're going to talk about the. Um, Usually we'll have a live trading update. Will be in the first beginning, and then we'll cover two more topics throughout the stream. And the streams could be anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, just depending on how much I feel like should be talked about on that topic, and also if there's any questions as well. Okay, so live trading update. Best way to find that profitable edge. Brokers, what to look for so you don't get screwed. Uh, so I know a lot of you are um, looking for the best brokers because sometimes their price feed is weird or strange, or the withdrawals are slow. There are a lot of brokers out there. Where to find the best ones, how to find how to find those best brokers, um, and how to gauge when things are starting to go south, so you're not part uh, of when the broker either goes bankrupt or they drop their U.S. clients or they just go scam in general, because that can happen a lot. Where a lot of these brokers, or some of these brokers, are more or less pyramid schemes, um, and uh, and it can be pretty dangerous to get involved. Um, so let's talk about the live trading update first, so you can get an idea of what happened over the last week. Um, and I'll start with pound CAD. So on March 1st, we had a nice trade on the pound CAD. It's 50 pips, just one trade, and the entry point was the inside candle here. So the bearish candle, inside candle here, uh, and it was right. It was pretty near the whole number, but it was just below it. It did end up shooting up from there, and we did get the 50 pips. Uh, then later on, there was another inside candle set up here on the 30-minute, and I also had the RMI set in place as well, which I can pull up now, just so you can have an idea of what I'm looking for. Okay, so the inputs are with levels. So 35 and 65 here. Now this is a lot more volatile pair. Um, as you can see, I just needed the RMI to be below to take any long positions. As you can see, that's what happened. So inside candle setup after the RMI passes the 35 level, shot up, profit. Then later after that, we had the same thing, RMI above, inside candle setup with the bullish candle and then followed by the bearish candle inside. Entry on the open of the next candle. Now you can see that there was a bit of a gap for my entry. That means the spread was a bit high. Um, and sometimes that can happen. And unfortunately, at that time, it would look like the spread was pretty high, unless the market was happened to be volatile at that time. So the spread kind of hurt me a little bit, but this pair again is pretty volatile, so it doesn't hurt too bad because the price moves uh, in a big way most of the time. Okay, so don't remember that we're on a 20 pip grid, so the price went against us initially. Uh, on the short side, and we entered another trade up here. Really good entry, and the price bounced back down, and I closed the EA closed out both trades at the time. It was 450 pips total profit. Okay, next was the March 3rd trade. Inside candle setup again, uh, below the RMI. Entry on the next candle, shot up right after that. No drawdown. And so that was a really good setup. So no trades this week so far. Price has been pretty flat, ranging, and so far we had some trades that were at the end of last week on the euro pound. Uh, and actually these have been in since February 27th. The inside candle setup here. Now, what's interesting is you can see here that these two trades closed out for loss. This is something that I wanted to mention to you guys about. This is a bit of an error. The EA is not supposed to close these trades out. These were not supposed to be closed out here. I couldn't find an error in the EA because I was out of town and didn't have the time to see the experts tab before the news or the error or why the trades were closed out at that time. There was only one thing I could figure out is because if you guys know anything about EAs, you know that if you're running it on two pairs, you need to have the magic number be different. Now every EA needs a magic number for its orders. So it's right here. You can see I have a 1, 2, 3, 4. It has to be different from the previous if you have the EA running on other pairs. And I had that the same. And so there could have been a conflict between the two pairs, and that's why it closed out here. Now this is the first error that I've had with my EA since I started using it exclusively back in November. So yeah, I closed in a bit of a loss here. It's about 0.5%, unfortunately, but you know that's life. If it happens again, then I should be more concerned. But right now, I'm just going to play it out, see what happens. No other orders have closed out when they shouldn't have. As you can see, I have 6 orders that are in place right now. Currently, we have a inside candle set up right here, and the potential push for it on the downside. Not much is happening right now. It started moving down after this inside candle setup, which is a good one. But we'll see if this support now that it's made up here, or sorry, this resistance that it's made up here. Let's see if it will hold. Now this could potentially shoot up back to that same level and then push back down from there, or it could shoot up entirely from there and past that, make new highs, or it can just peter out anytime from now and then continue back down on the downside. Now there's nothing really substantial up at that level right now. There's no whole number. The whole number is a lot higher above. Um, we're not even really at a half number yet. It did move at that half number that this 86.5, but nothing really substantial here to really merit a really big reversal, except for this inside candle setup. That could show more on the downside. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, so nothing on the euro pound this week, and we're still waiting for these 6 trades to close out. Right now, I'm in the hole of uh, on the worst order, it's about 90 pips. So I will need a retracement back or a pullback to about this area here, maybe a bit lower, uh, in order to come out and profit. Okay. So that's on the euro pound, as you guys know. Good morning to all of you that are showing up now. If you have any questions or comments, please write them in the chat box here on YouTube. And I'd love to answer any questions, whether it's skepticism or just questions in general about the market. For those of you just joining, this is our episode today. We just covered some of the live trades that I'm in now, or I was in before the last stream or after the last stream last week. Best way to find that profitable edge, brokers, what to look for, so you don't get screwed. So this is what we'll be covering today. I don't have to see if I have any plans for the euro pound. As you guys know, I enter on a 20 pip grid, so the next order will be near this top, this peak here, if the price decides to continue to go up from there. Right now, it's just kind of flat. Not a lot of action going on right now. Nothing on the pound CAD. I don't see any potential for any orders. As you can see, the RMI is inside the 35 level. It has to be below or above in order for us to take any potential trades. Okay, so at the moment, this is what the account looks like. Let me refresh. Okay, so we're still in profit. It's looking good, 16.36%. We have a bunch of orders in, like I showed you on the euro pound with 1.38% drawdown. So yes, I do have a lot of orders in on the pound, the euro pound, but there are very low risks. So even when the worst order is 90 pips against me, I'm only in 1.3% drawdown. That's how I trade. In general, typically I use 0.06 for this size of account, but since I'm using two pairs, I'm using half that size. All right. Because I'm using two pairs, you're going to start to see equity loss because when one pair closes out in profit, the other one closes out in loss. So that causes a equity curve now. Usually I don't have that because I was trading on one pair, but now since I'm trading on two, it's a little bit different. Hello, Norbert. How's it going? Uh, Good morning to me. Well, from here in Maryland. Um, Pound USD, sell or buy? Sure. Let me look at that real fast. So let me reload up my template. Okay. So Salem, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to uh, basically give you my views analysis on the pound USD. Okay. Um, and I'm not going to use any indicators for this. So you can get an idea of how I'm dissecting this pair without even using any indicators for direction. And the reason for that is because I don't find the need to do that. And you shouldn't either. Okay, so what do you see here? And how to do analysis, at least on the technical side. We'll get to the fundamental side here in a second. All right. Um, Okay, so let me mark this up. You can see right instantly right now that it's in a downtrend, right? Because you see that at the beginning of the chart, it's up, and at the end of the chart, where it currently is, it's down, right? So there's a big move on the downside. So you know that it's currently in a downside, at least on the 1 hour. So if you go on the 4 hour, you'll see that it's the same kind of situation. Yes, it's not as clean, but it's still in the downtrend. Let's go on the daily, still in the downtrend. What about the weekly? Downtrend, right? So and I don't think we need to really go into all the other time frames. You'll see that most of them are down as well. So, all right. So it's in a downtrend, but uh, some of you know that I don't like the word trend because just because it's moving down doesn't mean that people are going to continue to push it down. It could reverse at any moment, depending on the fundamental news or even on the technical side of things as well. Um, so because it's moving down, we think, okay, well, let's start looking for potential sell areas or short areas in the market. So we know that we are looking at uh, the swing levels here. Okay. Now these are the most obvious swing levels. This is kind of a large one here, but I don't see any pullbacks. Now what makes the swing levels is the pullbacks that happen. So first swing is here from this point to this point. And that's the pullback. This is the pullback that we're looking at. Then the continuation. than the new swing level that we currently see. Now, this is more substantial than any of the moves that happened in this whole area right here. Okay, so this is the pullback again. Okay, pullback. So we're looking for is the best places to enter on that pullback. So if we're wanting to take trades with the trend, which a lot of traders like to do, I like to counter trend trade as well. I think they're almost the same in profitability opportunities, and there's not a lot of difference in them. And if you have any questions regarding that, I know a lot of people will disagree with that thinking, but I do have a well thought out, at least I think so, a well thought out reason for taking counter trend and trend trades and thinking that the opportunities for them are the same. Um, and the reason why, I guess the short reason why is because we never know when the trend is going to stop until after the fact, and we don't know uh, when the trend is going to pull back. And I mean, we have guesses, we can interpret the market. Um, and we have tools to help us with that, but it's always going to be a guess either way, right? So, um, so what we can do is if we're looking at all the time frames and we see on the 4 hour to daily one, it's probably best, since it's trending on so many different pairs, that in this particular case to enter on the short side. Um, and how do we best do that is by looking for the candlesticks at these levels. So previously, this was the swing high, right? And then it continued back down. It broke this swing low, and it made new lows, new lows, new lows, and then eventually got to this point, and that's when it bounced again. So what we're looking for is when this pullback is going to stop, right? So we can enter the market at a good time. We don't want to enter at the bottom of when it's at the lowest. I've seen so many people making that mistake, where they'll enter the market right when it breaks this level or hits this level, and they were thinking, well, if it's making new lows, and it's continued to make new lows. No, no, that's not correct. When it makes new lows, that means that there's potential for it to bounce at any given moment. So it was making new lows here, made new lows here, 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 and then here again. So all these levels, it could have easily bounced, and I mean there were small ones that happened, right? But I just think it's so dangerous to enter on new lows. So you shouldn't be doing that. You should be looking for opportunities of when the market will continue its downtrend after that. Um, and this is actually a pretty good example. So we're on the 1 hour and the pullback. Okay, so we have one indication for pullback here. So we had the bullish candle here set up. Yeah, I'm looking at this one, just in case you guys don't know. This bullish candle. Then the inside candle right after. Now that's a decent setup, and why is that a decent setup for an entry? Well, it didn't end up being the best entry, but I'll explain why. Um, and here we go. So swing high, swings. This I still don't like this one as a swing level, but it's probably the best if we're really looking at every single little swing level. Because so I've already pointed out the main ones, right? These two. These are the main ones. Now, what about the small ones? We could look at, okay, there was one here, maybe. There's one here, and then that. So if you're really breaking them down, you could do that as well. So what's the substantial meaning of this inside candle setup here? Well, because the bullish candle that we circled is not, it didn't break the high of this really weak level up here. And it also didn't break this one as well, or this one. And so you're thinking that, okay, so if it didn't break it, that means that it didn't have enough strength to break through that last swing high level. And so the inside candle happened in the big wick. It's a pretty good indication to buy to short the next position, because this pullback that we mentioned could have easily ended from here to here. It did end up shooting up at that point and making another swing level that I'll get to in just a second. Okay, so if let's say that we entered, let's say that we took this trade. Now, it didn't go our way, did it? Yeah, that's pretty obvious. It went down just a little bit, about 15 pips, and then it jumped back up. So instead of actually closing this trade out in loss, which a lot of people would close out this trade in loss potentially at this level, or even this one, or maybe this one, or even the more substantial level, which if I were going to have a stop loss, I would probably put it right in this area. This would be, if I was taking a stop loss, it would probably be at this swing level. And the reason why is because this is a much more substantial level. A support level that was a swing, a lot of times will turn into a resistance level. If it broke it and it shoots back up, resistance level, and it shoots back down at that point, right? So that typically can happen. Um, and in that case, that's where I would put my stop loss. But here, we're not going to put a stop loss on this trade, at least not for now. And the next entry would be at this level. So I would put in another short position after the inside candle setup here. So this is another opportunity. Yes, it did break the previous swing, but it didn't quite break this one. And so we're still in that downtrend, and we're looking at all the next swing levels to see where price may reverse at them. So because it hit this level, it looked like it acted as a resistance point and then shot back down from there. So what about now? Where is it now? So we don't really have any opportunities yet. Uh, so my first indication to start looking for trades on the sell is for this same level to be hit again, and to look at the price action or the candlesticks to see how price is actually behaving when it hits that level again. You can see here that it's already bouncing back up, and some people may think that this is an indication for a change of trend, especially if the price right here breaks this level here. Is because we already have a swing low, which is the lowest low on in the recent memory, and then a higher low. And then as if this pushes up and breaks this level, that means that we potentially are in a new uptrend. And so that's why you should wait to enter on the short side to see how price behaves at this level. If it breaks that level, look at the next one. How does price behave when it hits this level up here? Are we getting candlesticks, inside candle setups? Are we getting bearish engulfing candle setups at this level? And if that's the case, then price could that's our hint that price may start its the continuation of the trend again, um, or start its continue its trend continuation again. I guess that kind of works. Anyways, um, yeah. So that I guess that's how I would answer that question. It's no entry yet. I would enter on the short side because the trend is down on so many pairs. I would be patient and wait for a good place to enter because if you enter right now, you could be hit some unnecessary drawdown because your entry didn't make any sense. So if you entered right here, why would you enter there? That's not a good place to enter because where is price? It doesn't really make sense where it is right now. You want to make sense of it by entering at certain levels if price gives us that type of entry point at those levels. So we're not just blind level trading and we're not just blind candlestick trading as well. We're using the combination as a powerful tool to help guide us into potentially profitable trades. Okay. So very long, long-winded answer to your question. Um, so yes, I would wait a bit and I would enter on the short side. Um, and good luck to you, and I hope that was answered your question. Okay, so um, and the reason why I take a long time on dissecting pairs, guys, is because I think it's necessary to do so. You don't want to just look at the chart and think, oh, it's in a downtrend, I'm going to enter on a short trade. You want your positions to be to hit uh, a minimal drawdown, and so that's why we look for the best entries for our trades, so we can sit on profit either faster or more in general. But the reason why I do it is in the hopes that I can uh, have a minimal drawdown on most of my trades. Sometimes we're not correct and we have to adjust. So, with that being said, let's get into the main portions of the stream, which are best way to find a profitable edge. Now, I'm hoping that this is going to be interesting to you guys because it's some things that I've done to help um, guide my way into finding profit in the market. So we're going to go into Google. Sorry, I'm battling a little bit of a cold. Okay, so this is a pretty cool website. Some of you may have heard it before. It's called forexwinners.ru or .net. Um, and you know, it's not the best looking site in the world. Um, there's also advertisements on it, but it's a free site for downloading systems. And so if you go into systems, you can see just a ton of them. They have pages and pages. It looks like 52 pages of systems that are uploaded to the website. So now let's go. Uh, let's see if we can find a decent one to look at. Okay, so that's a Rinko chart. So if we just click on this one, best UOP system. Now there's a lot of indicators on this system, but you'll see that there's a ranking system as well, or a ranking graph that shows what people think of this system and what users do. So you can actually click on a star rating, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it shows you that there were 23 votes and a 49 in the percent score of this system. Uh, so I'll place this in the chat just so you guys can um, get an idea, or so you can check it out yourself. So home. Um, okay. Okay, so there I just typed it into the YouTube box so you can check for yourself. And here's a Fibonacci indicator. Okay, so this is a simple indicator that shows you the entry point and a potential stop loss. It's not a system, it's just an entry type of buy sell indicator um, that can potentially help you in your trading. Now you can see here the reviews are 24, 82% rating, 4.7 average, and it looks like it's pretty helpful. Some traders have found it helpful for them entering or using this as a tool. Maybe it may not be the best for using on its own, but we're going to go ahead and download this. And I'm going to show you step by step how to work this website because it may be a little tricky because it is a freeware site, and so whoever is running the website actually is trying to get advertising um, money for it. So we go to click on free download. Now on the download menu, it has wait for 19 seconds. Now you might be confused of where to actually download the file. So you enter the code. So 1148. And then once this is done, so we're waiting 5 seconds. Okay, so now we just press enter. Enter on your keyboard. Okay, and you see here that it's done. Fibonacci mystery. Okay, so if you guys don't have WinRAR, I recommend downloading WinRAR because it helps you with opening up zip files. So I think this is where you can download it. I'm also going to put this in the description. WinRAR is pretty helpful. It's free, so keep that in mind. Okay, so we downloaded our file, Fibonacci mystery. So for those of you that don't know how to install indicators that you download or systems, so this file has just the picture, so you can see what it does, and the description from the website as well. And so you double click the indicator, and you can see that there's 3 files in here. There's 1 hour Fibonacci mystery, there's the 15-minute, and there's the 30-minute. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move these into to our trading folder. And how you do that is you click on File, at the top right, top left, I mean, and you double click the MQL4, and then you go into indicators, and then you drag and drop, basically. Drag and drop into there. And so you can see the files are in there. And then we just close out of WinRAR and close out of our broker. Reopen it. And then the file should be in there. And we should be able to use the indicator. Now, I hope some of you probably already know how to do that, but for those of you that don't and never really knew how to or figure out how to put indicators or systems into your MetaTrader folder, now you should be able to do it. And if that didn't make sense, just rewind the video once it's posted on YouTube. Okay, so how do we look through our indicators list, and we know it's Fibonacci mystery, so we're going to load it on the 1 hour. Okay, so now, as you remember, looking at the reviews, they were 4 out of 5 stars, right? And so some people found this helpful. Well, you're gonna have to just study that for yourself to see if this is actually a helpful type of uh, indicator. Now, I don't know if it can be used on its own. That's what we're checking out right now to see how good it is on its own. And you can see that it's actually painted some previous signals. Now, the manual or the actual diagram for how to trade it shows that stop loss is the X, the entry is the arrow, and then the take profit is the check. Now you can see here that the stop loss was placed here, the profit was here, and obviously that stop loss was hit, right? And you can see the same thing here on this one. All right, stop loss was hit. And then you see how some of the other ones. Now, some of the other ones are pretty good, right? There was the stop loss here. It did move up. Take profit was never hit. Stop loss here. Take profit was never hit, but it was a decent signal. It did push into some profit. Now, so it may not be the best tool for following it exactly, but you should be able to find out if this kind of indicator is useful. So how to best do that is to go into the strategy tester and either find an EA or something that you can make the tester go by itself. And usually I just use a EA that doesn't place any orders, which I'm just trying to find now. I don't think there's okay. So I look for an EA that just lets the price go from a previous time frame. So like back in 2007, and we'll use it on the just the euro pound just for fun on the 1 hour. And we press start. Oh, we're going to actually not do that because we have it on every tick, and every tick will take way too long. So 2 control points. And we can see what's happening with our journal. Okay. Is it going to keep doing it? Yes, it is. Okay, so we're going to try a different EA. Sorry, I apologize for the wait. Let's see if this will work. Okay, here we go. Now this is what I'm looking for. Now what we do is we load up the Fibonacci mystery, and we can see how this indicator has performed in the past, at least on the euro pound. And you can test it on other pairs as well by doing the same thing. And gauge how accurate the indicator is over the longer term. Now, a lot of times what indicators do is they don't paint a large portion of the previous history. This indicator happens to paint a lot of history, but it only goes back to January. And so what happens before January? You don't really know. And so that's why it's important to get the strategy tester out to see. And we just wait to see when the next entry has happened. So you see that the indicator is actually painting. There it is. So we'll pause it for a second. And we'll see that the entry was pretty good. All right, and the exit was about 30 pips. And the profit level is this check mark. Let's see if the check mark is actually hit. Okay, so it wasn't hit. What was interesting is that the indicator actually painted another uh, entry point. So that means that this was a profit because we exited just for a small amount of pips when we got a short, uh, I guess, a short entry at this point. And so that's how you can kind of gauge. Now you can do this with multiple systems. You don't have to do this with just this one indicator. But this is an idea to show you how long this particular system or indicator has worked in the market, and you can actually gauge. You can get a calculator out. You can see for yourself how trades would play out over a long period of time. And it's extremely helpful. And I suggest that you guys do it with pretty much any system that you're using. Um, so you can help so it can help you in finding that edge. Now, if it's a system that is based on price action or just a standard indicator, I recommend trying to find our mixed systems that you have found on this website or on forexfactory.com. Mix them together, develop your own system or your own technique. Now, the benefit of doing that is it helps you explore why these indicators are strong together, uh, why they're doing what they're doing, what they're following, and so it helps for you to understand. Um, the benefit of using these indicators that you find on the internet instead of just using somebody's system that they placed out on the internet and saying that this is the entry, this is the exit. But you want to understand why the entry and exit are there so you have a better understanding of the market. Because if you don't know why, then how are you going to know how to trade that system? You can't just go blindly into system after system after system. You have to explore why it doesn't work or why it does work. And once you get to that point and understand the reasoning behind that, then you're starting to get somewhere because that's how an edge is found, really, is by exploring your options and by understanding um, how the market works and how the indicators work, what their potential edges and how you can take advantage of that edge, at least with the indicator. Now, there are multiple facets, multiple sides of trading profitably or having an edge. Yes, the system is important, but you also need an edge with your thinking, with your mentality, with the methodology, with the money management that you're using, and so there's a lot of different facets that are necessary in order to profit. But I'm kind of having you start from the beginning because a lot of people think that the system is the most important thing, and it's an aspect, but it's not the only thing that helps you profit. You have to have good money management. You have to understand why you're taking the trades that you are. And so let's continue to go through for a little bit on the systems for the next 5 minutes or so, and see if we can find something that's beneficial. Now, I don't think something like this is good for you to go off of. Why? Is because there are so many indicators on this system. Why would you not download this? Why would you download this system? Well, you can look at the reviews. For one, it doesn't have very good reviews. It's a 2.3 rating for an average and a 47% score, so it's not that great. And I can only think that the reason why is because there's too many freaking indicators that you start losing focus of where the price is actually going, and you're trusting too much of what these indicators are doing, and they're typically lagging most of the time. Uh, so I would say stay away from systems on the website or even on Forex Factory that have too many indicators. So let's go ahead and back out of that one. Okay, so this one may be a little bit better. There's still quite a few indicators. So let's check the reviews on this before we download it. And you see it has a 3-star rating. Not great, probably not worth my time. But you can always explore and check it out. But I'm typically looking for systems that have 4 and 5 ratings. Now, not just because of the system and how it trades, and just using that creator's system. I'm actually going to use those indicators that are developed in that strategy. So, for example, this has 1, 2, 3, 4 indicators, maybe 5, and I will study each of the indicators to see uh, what benefit they have to the system, why they're there, and if they repaint for one, and repaint the previous history, because then that shows how beneficial they are in live trading, and explore it a little bit. Don't just look at the system, download it, see if it works, and then just scrap it. You should understand the indicators and what they do. Um, so let's look for something that maybe is a little bit better. Okay, so looking at the reviews in this one, again, a 3-star rating. So not awesome. And you can see that this is uh, a trend line type of um, system with multiple levels, showing you when price hits these lines and breaks through them, that the more that it does, the more likely the trend is to continue at that point. Um, it's something that it looks like a decent system. There's not a lot of um, indicators. You can also see that there is some support resistance built into it, so maybe something worth exploring. Okay. Yeah, I recommend this website in helping develop your trading knowledge, along with forexfactory.com. Now, there's a lot of systems that are on forexfactory.com um, that you can find just by going through, and I think that you guys probably understand. If you go to the systems page, the forums, and you go through trading systems, there are tons of systems there. A lot of people go pretty in depth on explaining them, but I recommend trying to study the indicators so you have a better idea of how they truly work. Okay, so that's one way to find a true edge is knowing where to start and where to find some good information. And also with users, even reviewing certain types of systems. Um, Paid or even free. Some of these systems were paid for and put on here, which is a little unfortunate, but um, I don't know if these systems are still sold, or a lot of them are still sold. A lot of them are older, and so on and so forth. Okay, so how to next thing I wanted to hit on in the next 15 minutes, over the next 15 minutes or so, is brokers. Now, brokers are a really important thing on starting in trading as well, and even as I guess a professional trader like me, uh, with a 11-year trading experience, the broker situation is still something that I'm fighting, and trying to find the best broker that gives me the best options, that's not trying to screw me over. And right now, as you guys know, I'm currently with Oanda. Now I like Oanda, and they have only 50-to-1 leverage for a US trader. I don't have a lot of options as a US trader. Yeah, it's basically forex.com. It was FXCM, which now they don't have US clients. And now it's just pretty much Oanda and forex.com. That's pretty much it. Unfortunately, it's not a lot of options. Now we can't hedge. We have a FIFO rule, means that we can't buy and sell at the same time, or have short and long positions in at the same time. Um, and our first trades that are entered into the market have to be closed out first. It's just a lot of problems that we have to deal with a lot of traders that are actually watching the stream now don't have. And so I've had to figure out how to get around that. Um, so the things that I'm looking at now are a certain broker, uh, and this broker it seems pretty good. They're pretty new. They're from 2015. This broker actually accepts U.S. clients. Now they're not regulated. That means they don't have any FIFO regulation or issues with that. I can use 1,000-to-1 leverage, and so I basically get the benefits of running or trading like traders outside the U.S. do, which means would have a lot more flexibility. Um, the problem is that I always have to worry about my money though. So this broker can pick up and drop their U.S. clients at any given moment, or they can even turn scam. Uh, we just never know. Most of these brokers, or a good portion of them, just drop their U.S. client base. Um, and that means that they either transfer or you're able to withdraw your funds at that point, or they transfer you to another broker. Now this happened with FXCM. FXCM dropped their U.S. clients just recently, or were forced to, and I believe that Forex.com, one of the last U.S. brokers, actually bought their clients, in a good port, like all of them. It was a multi-million or billion-dollar deal. Um, and uh, and so that's kind of what's happening. That we're the U.S. broker market, it just seems to keep shrinking. So I'm looking at this as an unregulated option. Now, forexsignals.com, as you guys know, I was with them before. They're a substantial signal-based website that allows traders to copy trade professional traders. Um, without any, you don't have to have any knowledge. So you basically copy their trades, and in the long run, hopefully profit. Forex Signals is a pretty big website, and they just signed a deal with LMFX for all of their U.S. clients, which is pretty substantial. Now, this shows to me that if you have a big client like ForexSignals.com working with LMFX, that means that these guys or they have a potential to stay around a bit longer when they have a good, solid base of a substantial or legitimate company like ForexSignals.com. Okay. Um, so that's what I'm looking at right now as an option. Now I may switch or move some of my funds over to LMFX. They also have a 100% credit bonus, which is the main reason why I would move over, is so I could potentially make more money with them in a shorter amount of time. Now it's something that I'm looking at. I haven't fully decided. Now, how can you actually find good brokers? There's a website called forexpeacearmy.com, and you can receive reviews for brokers, systems, uh, and EAs, just tons of stuff. It's a really great site. And right now I have the broker page pulled up, and you can actually select the rating. So what rating do you want your broker to have? Do you want it to be 2, 3, 4 stars, 5 even? And you can select Forex brokers, which they have 1,097 listed. They also have trading software and scam software or brokers as well. And so you just do apply filters or search, and this is what you come up with. And you can see that this has 3.5-star ratings. I did select 4, so I guess it's pretty close to 4. And you can see the reviews. Now let's just click on this first one, and it actually sends you to the broker website. We want to see the reviews. I'm not sure exactly how to do that. Well, it just sends me right to it. There's a way to actually read the reviews for the brokers as well. You can also see that the ones that are scams as in the under and that they're under investigation, and you can see that there are 24 scam ratings and 59 for onepipfix.com and onelotstp.com as well. So that's a good place, a good location to find reviews for brokers. You can see that these guys have a 1-star rating. So just to help uh, guide your venture on finding a good broker. Now, if you also have questions with a broker, let's say, for example, a broker that I used to be with um, before. Oh, Forex Broker Inc.com review. And a good place to again check for those reviews is Forex Peace Army. You can see that they only have 3 stars. And you can read all the ratings. You can see the most recent ones, terrible, cold scammers, and you can read these messages from users. Now sometimes they can be paid by the broker. It's pretty rare that I see that happening on Forex Peace Army. But it's a good location to read information about your broker. And it also is a good place to find out if your broker is starting to go south and to try to get your money out as soon as possible. Um, so hopefully you guys can use that. And I'm going to post it here in the comment section, so you have some knowledge to go by on brokers. You can also check my FX book. They are pretty good at broker reviews. They also have expert advisors, trading platforms, brokers, and you can also click on the score and you can see which one has the highest rating. Well, GDMFX right now has the highest rating out of all the brokers that they have listed. All right, and you see IC is up there, and FXCM is somehow pretty high up there, not the top. And you can also see which ones accept U.S. brokers. And if you click here, for example, you'll go into the description. It says accepting U.S. clients, yes. So for those of you that are U.S. based looking for uh, a broker that accepts U.S. clients in one on one website or one area, then you can click on check out my FX book and their broker reviews. And I think you can also read those ratings. Okay, yes, here you go. My FX books is a pretty good location, and if a lot of times the broker section is not quite as popular as Forex Beast Farming, but you can still see comments like you can here. All right. So that's another place, another thing that you can do to help guide your broker exploration um, or decisions. Um, and let's see, what else did I want to go over with you? I think that pretty much covers it for today. Um, I can see for one last time how my trades are doing. It looks like it's shooting back up a bit, and I'm just gonna have to wait this one out. I'm not in any rush, and you guys know that I wait for trades to close out. That's why I'm trading two pairs. No trades on the pound CAD, and I am slow and steady. I guess there is something I wanted to cover real fast before I end today. And if you go to forexfactory.com and you go under trading journals, you'll see that I'm in there. But I've been watching this guy HKD 3000 to my dream from this 90s trader. Now, some of you may be watching this guy as well. Um, and he's from Hong Kong, and he has had really good results in the past 4 months. And recently, he just closed out for a 40% loss. Now, I actually took some pictures of this whole thing that I'm going to show you. So this was the course of this whole process happening. So I took a picture, and you can see that he was in a 13% drawdown, and I saw that he was in some buy trades here on gold. And I knew gold had been moving up so much that eventually it's going to have a pretty big pullback. And as you can see here, that pullback has been pretty substantial since last week. And this is what I was expecting at some point, and it did happen. Now, the poor 90s trader got stuck in that. And so when I saw that he was in buys, I said, okay, so he's in 13% drawdown. I see this going a lot higher. So I took one trade. And then I took one picture, and I took another one. Okay, then he was in 42% drawdown. And eventually he hit 60%, over 60%. And I'm not sure if I captured that or not, but I have one last picture. And there it is. So there's 53% there. And he kept adding to the position. Now the problem here is that one, he martingaled his positions a bit by adding on to them, as you can see here. So he started out with 0.1 and then he moved to 0.2. Not a huge martingale, but substantial in that. And you can see that he had the 53% drawdown, and then he ended up having to cut his trades. Now I wrote in on his form on his thread saying that a good trader is protecting your profit, not how much profit that you're making. I had a lot of people disagree with me. They really look up to this guy. They really look up to 90s Trader because he's made 5,000% since he started this 4 months ago. All right, I'm not trying to minimize how that's impressive. It's impressive that he's been able to do it for 4 months, but I see that he's been buying the market a lot. And if you look at gold, it's been in a massive uptrend. in the last 4 months. If you go on the daily or weekly chart, you'll see that it's been pushing up over the last since December, or since December. And this guy started trading in November, and it's been pushing up a lot. And so he's been buying a lot, and because of how strong gold has been on the upside, it's a little easier to potentially profit because you're just riding that big move, right? But the thing is that we don't know how long that big move is going to go, and he got stuck because once that big move stopped, he had to close out, and he ended up pulling out for a 40% loss. Now that's not a huge deal because he's made 5,000%. But the thing is that he almost lost $20,000. He made a bunch. He turned 400 into 25,000, and then he put it all at risk. Now, a lot of people thinking, oh well, if he took out 5 grand, that means he's profited 5,000. That's great, but he's also potentially losing 20K, which in my opinion uh, is not protecting your profit. You're basically throwing away $20,000 that you could have had by risking too much. It's not worth it to me. Um, there are some like scalping and high risk trading methods, and all of them have this risk to go along with it. But the problem that I see a lot of traders doing is not withdrawing their profit and becoming too greedy. So they need to make more constant withdrawals when they're trading like this, in order for it to be beneficial, like or a workable type of trading method. Now people love this kind of stuff. They feed on it. They write comments in saying how awesome it is, how great of a trader he is, and this and that. He's a decent trader, but if he was actually making if he made a 50% profit in 4 months, yeah, he might be getting some people interested, but it's not going to get people interested in like they are right now. And because of the 5,000%, people are so googly-eyed and they get so stuck on the percentage and the money that's made from such a small account. Although impressive, it's not how trading is. You're not supposed to look at trading that way because it's kind of an anomaly. Not that many people can actually do this like 90s Trader has done. It's like 1 in 100 or maybe even more than that actually have success trying to do this. And so unfortunately, I think that 90s trader he's good, and that shows that he's been consistent over 4 months. Who knows if he's gonna continue to be that way with this kind of high risk trading? I kind of doubt it. But the thing is that I find him to be a very bad example because being a bad example shows that anybody can do this. While true, not that many people actually can. So why try for something that you can't really quite do yourself, when only 1 in 1 million traders can actually trade like this? Okay, so that's probably about it for now. I just wanted to mention that don't get too carried away. We want to um, make sure that our expectations are not too high, and not too low, but we have a very real picture of what I guess real trading actually is. Um, and I'm not jealous of this guy. If you're wondering that, I'm actually very happy for him. I think that is great that he's able to do that, and he's one of those few traders that can. But I feel like it's a bad example to other traders because they will never get it, and they will end up probably losing their accounts trying to do so. All right, so thanks again, guys, for watching, and we'll see you next Friday. And we'll cover some more charts, some more patterns, and if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer those as well. And I'll give you an update on my trades and see if we've made any profit during the week. All right, have a good day. See you next time. Bye.